I'm gonna need everyone to buckle in for this one. Please keep your hands, feet, head, everything inside the vehicle at all times. This is gonna be quite the video because I am making a tier list of all of the FNAF games, and I will not be holding back at all. I will be sharing my raw and honest opinions about all these games. I'm going to get a lot of hate. I'm just gonna say it right now. So make sure you please like the video and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so the next time I post a brand new video. That was the quickest I've ever said that. And also, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on FNAF. This is gonna be quite the video. You saw me do this video. I don't know if you've seen the video from August of last year, and I made a ranking video of all the FNAF games, but this is kind of different. This is a tier list, and as you can see right here, look at all these tiers in my eyes. I'm going to be rating all these games on an S to F scale. Last time I did this, you all watched the video and I was extremely scared, and it turned out pretty well, so hopefully I don't get too much hate for this video. Please know that these are all just my opinions. My opinions, they are not facts. I'm just a human just like you, and I have opinions, and please don't hurt me for my opinions. Okay, I love all of you. Please don't forget, and yeah, please like the video. Okay, I didn't even really prepare for this video. I really just wanted my honest opinions. I didn't really want to think about it too much, but yeah, get ready for some honesty. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get into it. Here we go. Starting off with FNAF AR. So FNAF AR is a game that I have not played. Yes, it is true. I'm admitting it right now. I have never played FNAF AR. I have the app. I have opened the app, but I have not done more than that. FNAF AR is a good game. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but one grief that I have with the game, and also Illumix does an amazing job on the designs. Like the designs and everything, and like the quality of the game is not a problem. Like it's a good game. But the one grief I have with this game is that things can get kind of pricey. But yeah, overall, it's a good game. I mean, it's not really a main FNAF game. So I think I'm going to put FNAF AR in the B tier. I think the game is overall good, but yeah, it's not technically a main FNAF game as well. So I think B tier is pretty fitting. I think we can all agree on that one. Moving on to Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. This is the first FNAF game to come out of Steel Wool Studios. They absolutely nailed this game. I think this game is one of the best FNAF games, especially in VR. The Nintendo Switch and like console versions of this game aren't as good as the VR, but I'm just rating it as a VR game right now. I think this is 100% S tier. I think a lot of us can agree on that. I think this changed Five Nights at Freddy's forever, especially it adds new lore, it adds Glitch Trap, it adds Vanny. All of the DLC for this game, especially the Halloween DLC, is amazing. Steel Wool Studios knocked it out of the park with this game, and that's why it deserves to be at the S tier. Moving on to Five Nights at Freddy's World. Five Nights at Freddy's World was supposed to be, and still is, the first Five Nights at Freddy's RPG game made by Scott Cawthon, and I think it's going to be the last. Scott Cawthon didn't really like this game when it came out. He actually deleted it off the App Store and made like multiple posts about how this game was rushed and he wasn't happy with it, and we liked the game. I mean, honestly, when it first came out, I was a little bit disappointed because it was like an 8-bit style map, and the trailers weren't showing that it was going to be an 8-bit style map, I'm pretty sure. But I think we take Scott for granted sometimes, and I said this in my ranking video. I think we take him for granted sometimes. He's just one guy, and for being one guy making this big RPG game for all of his FNAF characters and stuff, he did a great job with it, and the later updates were also really good. I would say FNAF World, this is a controversial one because there are a lot of FNAF World haters and a lot of FNAF World lovers. I'm going to put FNAF World at a B tier. I think B is a comfy place for FNAF World, and if I had to like give it a real rating, I'd probably give it like a B-, like somewhere in the middle of B and C. I had a lot of fun with this game. I had a lot of fun watching people play this game too, as well as playing it. I think Scott did an amazing job for just being himself, making his own RPG game, and there was also a lot of lore. We got introduced to Baby in that game. And moving on to FNAF 2. FNAF 2, I think, is one of my favorite FNAF games to play. I can still play this game and still enjoy playing it. I could play it for hours. I've played it on my Twitch streams, and I think this is one of the best video game sequels we've ever gotten, at least in the indie world. Scott Cawthon nailed it with this sequel, adding more lore to the FNAF games, adding new mechanics, new animatronics. We were all blown away with this game, and it still holds up today. This game is an obvious A tier for me. That game is amazing, and I still play it today, and I still enjoy it. So yeah, FNAF 2, A tier. Moving on to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. In the interview with Scott and Dawko, Scott Cawthon said this game was more just for lore purposes. Like, he didn't even really want to make this game, but since he wanted to wrap up the lore, he made this game. Scott completely switched up how he made FNAF games for this one. He had a pizzeria simulator, and then you got moved to an office where you had to do tasks and fight off animatronics and lead them other places and all this different stuff. This was a big game for lore, and that's how he intended it. He didn't really intend it to be like a huge game. Scott was really creative with this game, with how he did the advertisements and how you could make money and buy things and play the games and unlock lore in the mini games. And overall, I think this is a pretty good game. I would give this a B tier. Next, I am going to do FNAF 3. And FNAF 3 is a very, very interesting one because FNAF 3 was the peak of Five Nights at Freddy's popularity. I mean, I don't think anyone can argue that. Look at how many views the FNAF 3 trailer has. It's literally insane. But when this game came out, I cannot not say that I was disappointed. I think that makes sense. I think the jump scare for this game isn't the best Scott could do. I think the camera was a little too small and the images were a little too fuzzy on the camera to seem realistic. I think the functions got a little repetitive and it was a little frustrating. I think Scott really does a really good job at reinventing new FNAF games as they come out. It's never the same mechanics, the same animatronics. It's always something different, and he really did something different for this. I just was not really a fan of this one. I still love this game. It's still a big part of the FNAF lore and all that kind of stuff, but I'm gonna put it at D tier. I'm sorry, FNAF 3. The next game that came out was Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was made, like Scott said in the Docker interview, because FNAF 3's jump scare wasn't popular with fans. Scott said that he wanted to make FNAF 4 because FNAF 3 wasn't scary enough for people, and with FNAF 4, he made one of the scariest games ever. I think FNAF 4 is a masterpiece in FNAF. I think it's a masterpiece at jump scares, and the storytelling is honestly pretty good, but it did get a little confusing with the lore. I think FNAF 3, everyone was like, oh my god, we kind of figured it out. And then FNAF 4 came out and everyone was like, oh, what? No one really still knows the solid story to FNAF 4 to this day, but it is an amazing game. I think the mechanics are awesome. The graphics in this game are unlike any other FNAF game, and I think it's a solid A tier. I mean, the only thing that's not making it an S tier is the lore was kind of confusing, but yeah, jump scares are amazing. This game is still fun to play. It still scares the crap out of me, and yeah, that's why it's at A tier. So the next game we're gonna do is FNAF Sister Location. Sister Location was an iconic game for the FNAF franchise. It was the first game that got voice acting. It was the first game with Baby and all the Funtime animatronics. Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location changed the game for FNAF. It was our first kind of free roam, but not really free roam, like guided free roam game in the FNAF franchise, and we finally got like new areas to explore, brand new ways to play, brand new animatronics, brand new story, not brand new story, but like a continuation of the story. Yeah, FNAF Sister Location was a great game, so that's why it's getting an A tier. On to Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night. Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night was the game that we weren't really expecting. It was like the game that was gonna wrap up the core FNAF series, and it really did. In this game, we had almost all of the FNAF characters stuffed into one pizzeria, and you were Purple Guy in his own personal HE double hockey sticks, fighting off all of these animatronics. This is also the game where Markiplier literally just said all the lore right when he played it, like completely correct. Like he just guessed all of it correctly. Purple Guy, personal HE double hockey sticks right there. But this is a good game. I mean, you can tell Scott put a lot of work into this game. It is not an easy task to put all of these animatronics into one game and have their own little ways of sneaking up on you. A lot of people love this game, but I'm gonna put it at a C tier. This wasn't like a full FNAF game. I mean, I think it was good. I think the gameplay was all right. It got a little repetitive, but overall a good game. But I'm going to put it at a C tier. I don't hate the game. I just think it fits comfortably in the C tier. It's no like Sister Location or FNAF 4. It's not like a big grand game like that. But, you know, it did its job and it did its job well. So I think it's comfortable in the C tier, still passing, not failing. Now onto the final game, FNAF 1. So FNAF 1 was the first FNAF game to come out, obviously, and it changed the game for horror games, at least indie horror games. I still think the ambiance and the music and the jump scares and the animatronics and the setting and the graphics all still hold up to this day. This game hits differently than all of these other games. Like, the ambiance in this game is unmatched, and there's a reason why it blew up the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. I think this game obviously deserves to be in the S tier. I remember thinking when Markiplier was playing this game that there has never been a horror game like this ever before. That's why it's at the S tier. This is my official tier list of all the FNAF games. Please don't hate me. I still love every single one of these games. Every single one of these games are still awesome, but this is my personal rating for all of them. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like it and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye. Bye.